In this video, we're going to explore how we can use ID or ID that's matched to a tag and then extract it and put it in CSS so we can assign a color to it. So we use the syntax for that. So how can we do this? So imagine here we have this item here and we want to put in here an ID. And we say this ID will be introduction. This is the introduction paragraph. So how can we get this introduction into our style here? Well, with classes, we're using always the dot. But with IDs, we are always using the hashtag. And this is very important. With this, we can pinpoint it in two ways. First of all, you can pinpoint it specifically by saying paragraph and then hashtag with the ID name, and then we can put in here the ID. However, this is not really necessary. Let me explain why. When you use an ID in HTML, an ID can be used only once. So you're not allowed to use another ID here. So for example, if you use the ID with that, you're not allowed to use the same name. It must be introduction number 2. Because an ID is unique. And unique means it can be only one version of it in one HTML file. So that would mean here, if you have another one, it needs to be named as introduction number 2 or introduction with any other character. So it cannot be identical. For classes, it's a different story. With classes, you can have here red color and black color. This could be here double. It could be here, like let's say here, this is a class of black color, but also introduction. So that is no problem at all. So in here, so this being very specific here on the ID is not necessary, meaning that you can remove this paragraph. Because here you could do p.redColor as a class. Why? Because we have another item. Maybe this would be not a p but a div. Then it will only pinpoint, let's say this would be red color. And here also red color. So you can see here, and then if you save this here, then the red color will not be triggered. Why? Because it is not specific enough, because it's a paragraph red color. And with introduction or with this ID here, we can put in also the same syntax here. But this always has to be unique. This introduction here, and so we can say here, for example, color, and then we say here, gray. And if we save this, we can refresh, and now what happens? The ID will overrule the paragraph here, or it will overrule the class. Why is this? Because the introduction is always more unique or more specific than the class. The reason why is, as I told you before, it is unique. It is unique in such a way that there's only one. If there's only one, CSS will overrule everything else, saying this is the most specific item or most specific value that we are assigned to, so this must overrule whatever we set in the classes. Because classes can be less specific because we can have 2 times the same class. Even though this would be, but we could have as well here another paragraph. And then we say this will be the class red color. And if we save this, then we refresh, we can see now this one starts to respond with the red color, while this one does not, because this is the ID. So always use it like this. There's no need to be more specific than that if you want to pinpoint exactly the ID version of this. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions regarding this, make sure you put them in the comment section. I'll get back to you. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the next video here. You will probably enjoy this as well.